honorable delegate, a sprint has started and is still ongoing. Since when? Why? Who are behind that sprint? Nobody knows. But what sure is that that sprint is still ongoing. That sprint is still ongoing. There are states that seem to be used to that sprint, that seem to be at ease with that sprint, that are performing perfectly through that sprint. We call them soft powers, developed countries. By the other side, there are countries, there are states that are observing those states, wondering how, why them, and not us. Naturally getting close to those best sprinters for having information about how to be good. What are the rules of that session, of that sprint? They will have information. Okay, you have to do that. The question is, that information, is it real? Is that information real? Do those sprinters, known as best sprinters, are they really best sprinters? That's the question. Do they really know the rules? Are they faking? What's real? What's true? Which rules is being followed? No real question. Yes, they have been helping. They have been helping. Currently, what's the result? Since the 60s, after independence till now, up until now, what's the result? After all the loans, after all the grains African nations have been receiving, what's the result? For being saying there is a need of working on how African nations, states of Africa, especially ECOWAS, take that sprint. There is a need of taking that sprint according to the reality that is being faced by African nations, especially in ECOWAS. Education. Everything starts from education. What's the real matter? What must be really done for African nations, for countries from ECOWAS to be independent, to be really capable of surviving of the challenges of the 21st century? There is a real work on the education that is to be done. And for that, ECOWAS must step into education, how to work, how to really work on the mindset, the real mindset that is supposed to be helping countries to know what they are, their real values, and where they are going to be going. That's important. Secondly, education. Why? Education helps states to be capable of facing deals, facing realities, not being put into some unbalanced deal. As the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, was saying, an education that will allow people to be capable of having a very balanced deal when it comes to resources dealing with external countries. What is to be said is there is a need, a certain need of balance that is not being observed up until now. Security, very important as well. Countries internally inflicted by internal conflict, terrorism, there is a real work into security that has to be done. ECOWAS, honorable days, honorable delegates, sincerely,
Merci, honorable délégué de la Sierra Leone, pour votre mission paper.
Modératrice, si vous ne pouvez pas faire le travail, il faut me dire si vous êtes fatigué pour que je prenne la relève. Si vous êtes fatigué, vous le dites. Parce que le délégué ne peut pas quitter le pupitre à lui-même pour rejoindre son siège.